Hello dear students, welcome back to your science classes. So students, I'm your science educator again here with a new chapter, and today we have chapter number 2, plants living and surviving. So before starting this chapter, have a look on your learning objectives. First, types of plants on the basis of their habitats. Next, terrestrial plants, plants in plains, forests and grasslands grasslands, deserts, hills and mountains, and plants in marshes, aquatic plants, free-floating, rooted and floating underwater plants. Next, insectivorous plants, and last we have the cereal grasses uses of grasses. So let's get started. Plants are found in almost all types of habitats. A habitat is a place where an organism, plant or animals live normally. Plants are well suited their natural environment. If they are removed from their natural habitat, they do not survive. For example, if lotus plant is kept out of water, it dies. So what we understand here, that habitat means your home. Okay, so each and every plant also has their own home, as like you and me. If we just remove that plant from their habitat, so what will result? They will die, just like us. If we don't have our home, so we feel so cold in winter, so heat in summer, and that will be result into our death. So similarly, plants also need their home, and each and every plant have their own habitat, and they have feel security and their habitat. Next, similarly, a cactus that lives in a desert will die if we kept in water. So, plants develop certain features which enable them to survive successfully in a particular environment. Such features are called adaptation. Such features are called adaptations. So, what we understand here, that the features which is taken by the flowers to survive in a particular environment, in a particular habit, those features are referred as your adaptations. Okay. Next types of plants on the basis of their habitat. So now we are going to classify flowers basically. So now we are going to classify plants on the basis of their habitat, on the basis of their home. So first, plants can be divided into two main groups on the basis of their habitat. First we have terrestrial plants, and the next we have aquatic plants. So those plants, terrestrial and aquatic plants, those plants who can live on the terrestrial, they are your terrestrial plants, and those who need water, who need aquatic environment, they are your aquatic plants. Now we are going to learn first terrestrial plants. Plants that grow on land are called terrestrial plants. Terrestrial means on the earth, and terrestrial habitats are plains, forests, grasslands, desert, hills, mountains and marshes. So what we understand here, those plants who are able to survive on the land, that is referred as your terrestrial plants. Now we have so many categories on terrestrial. For example, we have mountains, we have land, we have desert, we have hills. So we are going to learn it. So we are going to read about each and every type of terrestrial. So first we are going to learn about the plants in plains. In the plains, plants are varied. They are called mesophytes. So when we have plants on land, what we call them? We call them mesophytes. Trees have a lot of leaves and branches. They shed their leaves in winter to prevent loss of water from the plant, and they can bear the heat of the summer. So what we understand here, those plants who survive on the plane of land, they are referred as mesophytes. They have a lot of leaves, they have a lot of branches. In the winter season, they just shed off their leaves to prevent the loss of water, and they can bear the heat of the summer. Now, what are the examples we have? We have mango, banyan, gulmohar, shisham, eucalyptus, neem, peepal, sal, etc. are the common trees in the plains. Next, we have plants in forests and grasslands. There are a thick growth of plains in forests. There are many trees, shrubs and herbs. They are both evergreen and deciduous trees in forests. So what we understand here, in plants, those plants which survive on Forest and grassland, they have generally features like they have evergreen, they have deciduous trees in forest. Grasslands are covered with grass and wildflowers. Grasslands do not receive much rainfall, so there are not many trees or bushes. They are small trees scattered throughout the grassland. All grassland are home to a variety of animals. So what we understand here, those plants grow in forest, they have evergreen feature and they are deciduous trees. Okay, and there are many type of trees. They have shrubs, they have herbs, but those plants which grows on the grassland, those plants which grow on only the grassland, they do not have so many trees or brushes, just because of that, because they do not receive much rainfall, and there are small trees scattered throughout the grassland. all the grassland all the grassland are the home for the animals. And next we have plants in desert, and one of the plants of desert, we all know that cactus, because cactus do not need too much water. A desert has an extreme climate. It is very hot in summer and very cold in winter. Sometimes there are hot winds and dust storms. Rainfall is very little, so water is scarce in the desert. Whatever water that is available is present under the ground. The plants that live in deserts are called xerophytes. The common desert plant is the cactus, as we already discussed, because in desert, in winter, they are very cold. In summer, they are very hot. So what we understand, this type of climate could not be good for the growth of any kind of plant, but we have some type of plants who can survive in such a difficult climate as well. And one of the examples we have for this, it is our cactus. And those plants who survive in this climate, in this type of climate, basically who grow in the desert, they are referred as xerophytes. Xerophytes have the following features for desert adaptation. Xerophytes have the following features for desert adaptations. They have long roots that grows deep into the soil to get underground water, and the stems of cassitae are thick, fleshy and succulent. They store water. The stem are green and serves as photosynthesis organs and prepare food for the plant. So two type of features we have in cactus, basically we can say, or the plants who survive on the desert. First, they have long roots. If they have long roots, so they can get the underground water for their growth. First thing. And next, they have succulent. They have succulent leaf, succulent and fleshy thick leaves, so they can absorb the water and they can also store the water for a long duration of time. And with the help of that stored water, they can use and they can make their own food with the process of photosynthesis. And we also understand and we also get to know that. And one more important thing is that these plants are green in color. That is why they can make their food with the help of photosynthesis. If they are not green, so they cannot able to make their food now. Now the leaves are reduced. The leaves are reduced to spines or thorns to avoid loss of water. The spines or thorns being pointed also protect the plants from being eaten away by animals. So what we understand here, the leaf of the cactus having thorns. Just because of that, they can reduce the water loss, and these plants cannot be eaten by the other animals and they can survive for a long duration of time. Now plants in hill and mountains. So the next terrestrial we have hilly region have frequent rains. The common trees that grow in these regions are pine. So what are the examples we have for the hills and mountains plants? First, pine, spruce, fir, oak, cedar, deodar, and most hilly trees have needle-like leaves and straight trunks. That is why they can tolerate strong winds and snowfall. These trees retain their leaves throughout the year, and the fruits are conical in the shape, so that they are called coniferous. So in hilly area, we have conical branches, right? Conical leaves. So that is why those plants who survive in hilly and mountain areas, they are referred as coniferous, because they are conical in shape, and they can, with the help of this conical shape, they can tolerate strong wind and they can protect themselves. Next we have small non-flowering plants, mosses and lichens are also found on hilly mountains. So two more examples we have. And which type of plant? Small and non-flowering, and these are mosses and lichens. Next we have plants in marshes. Plants in marshes. Marshes are areas with clayey soil and plenty of water. So in this area, we have a lot of soil, a lot of water. So they are good. They have good growth because we need both the things now for good growth, soil and water. As there is very little space for air in the clay soil and water gets trapped, the plants need to adapt so that their roots obtain fresh air and do not get choked with water. Mangrove trees or shrubs are found here. Their roots grow above the soil to get air. These roots are called breathing roots, pneumatophores. So what we call them? We call pneumatophores. Pneumatophores means the breathing roots we have, because in clay, in marshes area, we do not have much space, and just because of that they cannot take air inside it. So that is why these roots, the mangrove trees, the marshes plants, those roots are grow outside of the soil, and with that they can take air inside it directly, and that is why they are referred as pneumatophores. Pneumatophores. Next we have aquatic plants. As the name suggests, aquatic, in water. Plants that live in water are called water plants or aquatic plants. They are also called the hydrophytes. So hydro means water and phytes it's plant. So aquatic plants are the following types we have. The first, free floating plants, rooted and floating plants, and the third one, underwater or submerged plants. So these are the three types we have in aquatic plants. Okay, free floating, as the name suggests, they freely float. Okay, such plants float freely on the surface of water. They are not rooted in the soil at the bottom. Plants float because they are either light, small in size, or have a spongy air-filled parts. Some of the common free-floating aquatic plants are Lemma, Wolffia, Pistia, Juicea, and water hyacinth. So what we understand here, in first of all, free-floating plant is one of the example of the aquatic plant, and they are very small in size, they are very light inside. That is why they can float in water, and we have some of the examples for this. We have Velfoia, Lemna, Pistia, etc. and etc. Next we have rooted and floating plant. It means they are connected at the bottom at some point with the help of the roots. So roots of such aquatic plants are fixed in the mud. Their leaves are broad and have long hollow petioles which kept the leaves and flowers afloat. Some common rooted floating plants are lotus, water lily, and trapa. So what we understand here, rooted and floating plants are those plants which is connected in the mud with the help of the root, and we have some of the examples of it. We have lotus, we have water lily, and trapa. And in rooted and floating plants we have broad leaves. Okay, next we have underwater and submerged plants. Some aquatic plants remain submerged and are rooted in the mud. These plants have narrow leaves with no stomata. They breathe through their body surface. Underwater plants clean the water by removing carbon dioxide, so they are grown in aquariums. Common submerged rooted plants are Hydrelia and Vallisneria. So what we understand here, underwater or submerged plants are also connected at the bottom with the help of fruit, but they cannot breathe with the help of their stomata. They breathe with the help of their body surface. And these type of water, the underground water plants, basically needed for the cleaning the environment, for cleaning the aquarium, so they can live inside the water as well. They take carbon dioxide, remove the carbon dioxide, and provide the oxygen. Okay, and that is why, so they grown in aquarium. Just because of that, that underground water removing the carbon dioxide, carbon dioxide inside the water, that is why other aquarium plants can live inside the water. And we have the examples for the underwater or submerged plants. We have Hydrelia and Vallisneria. Now insectivorous plants. So in swampy place there is not much nitrates. Plants in such a places fulfill their need for nitrates for digesting insects. These plants are called carnivorous plants. As we already know about carnivorous, who eating flesh eating animals basically. So carnivorous plants are those plants who eat insect. That is why we also called it insectivorous plant. Basically, these are the non-vegetarian plants you have. That is why they are referred as carnivorous plants or insectivorous plants. They eat insects. The common insectivorous plants are pitcher plant, Venus flytrap, and sundew. So these are the common examples we have for the insectivorous: pitcher plant, Venus flytrap, and sundew. In such plants, leaves are modified to trap insects. So they are like this. any insect will sit inside this wheel, they will close their mouth. So they have a trap like structure. The leaves are trap like structure. Okay. In the pitcher plant, the pitcher like structure is modified part of the leaf. The apex of the leaf forms a lid which can open and close the mouth of the pitcher. Inside the pitcher, there are hair which are directed downwards. When an insect lands in the pitcher, the lid closes and the insect slips down. The digestive juices secreted by the base of the pitcher slowly digest the insect. So what we understand here, that it is this like of a structure. When insects sit inside, so they have a hair-like structure. With this hair-like structure, they produce digestive juices and they just closes their mouth like this, and further this insect get digested by the pitcher plant. In the Venus flytrap, the leaf has sensitive hair and can close its two half from the middle. The leaf closes immediately when the sensory hairs are touched by the flies. So these here will give sense to the plant that okay fine, there is an insect, you have to close yourself. Okay. Now the sundew plant has sticky hairs on its leaf that trap insect and then cover them with the digestive fluid. So as the insects sit on the sundew plant, so on the base of it they have a sticky structure, sticky hairs, and the insect is indulged with it, and with that during that time when the insect is indulged with the sticky hairs, they just close themselves and the digestive juices just released. Now we have cereal grasses. Cereal grasses means the food which is eaten by you and me. So the cereals, wheat, rice, maize, oat, etc. These are the examples we have for the cereals. We eat are actually different kinds of grass plants. We eat the grains of these grasses. Sugarcane and bamboo plants are also grasses. They are called giant grasses. So those grasses eaten by human beings basically. Your bamboo, not bamboo, but sugarcane is eaten by the human being. That is referred as your giant grasses. Now, what are the uses we have for these grasses? Grass eating animals live on grasses. Cereal grasses provide us with the staple food. Without this, we do not have bread, breakfast, cereals, rice, cake, biscuit, or popcorn. Half of the world's sugar supply comes from the sugarcane. Bamboo is used for building houses, furniture, and rafts. Various kinds of grasses are used to make different types of paper. Grasses make attractive surface in lawn, parks, and playgrounds. Grasses are important in checking soil erosion, and grasses, dried grasses or straw, are also used as packing material. So what we understand here, that we have a lot of uses of grasses. We use grasses as the food we have in the form of bread, cereals, rice, and in breakfast as well. Now another uses we have, we can make papers with the help of grasses. We use dry grasses and the packaging material. We also use, and most of the sugar is formed with the help of sugar cane, which is a giant grass. So there we have a lot of uses of grasses which we use in our day-to-day life. So students, this is the end of your chapter. I hope so you understood it very well. Now I'm going to meet you in your next class. Till that, bye bye. Have a good day.